All right, guys, here's the deal. Before we get started, I want to be clear that this is a revised version of a previously removed video. The original was flagged by YouTube for a policy violation, so I went ahead and updated the content to ensure that it aligns with all community guidelines. This video is for informational and safety purposes only. I do not promote or condone any illegal activity. The mushrooms featured here are strictly culinary. Now, if you'd like to check out the extended version, you can head over to my blog. You can find a link below. And if you find this content useful, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mushroom Madness. I am your host, Fungi Bob, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my recipe for mushroom chocolates. Super simple recipe. Just need some meltable chocolates. I like these Melt Craft because you can get a lot of mushroom powder in them. And you need your mushrooms. Today the key is consistency, and that's really what it comes down to when making edibles of any sort. There's nothing worse than taking a chocolate or something and not knowing how much is in it. So if you follow my directions today, you're going to be able to come out with a product that you can guarantee when you take it or give it to friends, you know exactly how much is in it. And consistency is key. So with that, let's get started. In addition to your mushrooms and your chocolate, you will also need a digital scale, a silicone mold of some sort, 2 solo cups, a knife with a flat back, a paper plate, a spoon, a coffee grinder, and a way to melt your chocolate. Either you can use a chocolate melter or you can use a pot that fits in another pot with 1 inch of water at the bottom. You will also need a roll of paper towels. Before we actually start making mushroom chocolates, we're going to do a trial run. And by that, I mean we are going to fill up our molds with just chocolate, weigh each one individually, then we find the average, and that will help us find our ratio of chocolate to mushroom powder, which is a very important step. The molds came out looking great. Everything is completely filled in. And what I'm doing now is I am weighing each one individually to find the average weight, which is 11.6. Now it's time for some very simple math. We now know that each mold weighs 11.6 grams. We want 1.3 grams of mushroom powder in each chocolate, giving us a chocolate weight of 10.3 grams. Since we'll be making 10 chocolates, we're going to multiply these figures by 10, and then we're also going to multiply that by 1.1 to account for 10% waste or spillage. This gives us a total chocolate weight of 113.3 grams and a total mushroom powder weight of 14.3 grams. If you've never used a digital scale before, there are 3 buttons. There's the on button, the mode button, and the tare button. First, we're going to turn it to on, and then we're going to hit the mode button until we see G in the top left, which means we are now on grams. We then take our solo cup and put it on top, and we hit the tare button. What this allows us to do is to take off the weight of any container we put on here. So now we are at 0 and we can start weighing our chocolate. Now that we know how to operate our digital scale, we will weigh out 113.3 grams of chocolate and immediately put it in the chocolate melter. While that is melting, we will weigh out 15 grams of mushrooms. Though we only need 14.3 grams, there will be some residue left over, so we want to overshoot just a little bit. When grinding up the mushrooms, you will likely have to do this in multiple batches. Fill the coffee grinder to capacity and grind it down into a very fine powder. You can then either add it right to the solo cup and put in the rest of the mushrooms, or you can add a little bit more as you go. The most important part is by the end of this, you want to make sure that all mushrooms are in a very fine powder form and there are no chunks or pieces at all. Now that our chocolate is completely melted and there are no chunks, it's time to remove it from the heat source and immediately add in our mushroom powder. That's why I add in the powder all at one time. We want to make sure we start stirring immediately because we don't want to have to put this back on the heat source. Is a relatively stable compound up to about 160 degrees Fahrenheit. However, it's a fragile compound and can degrade if introduced to high temperatures for a prolonged period of time. That's why it is always best if we make sure the chocolate is completely melted before we start mixing so we don't have to put it back on. We want to work with our infused chocolate off of a direct heat source, if at all possible. When mixing, we want to make sure that we hit the bottoms, the sides, and also make sure there are no remnants of mushroom powder left on the spoon. This is the most important part of the process. We spent all of the time making sure we knew the exact weight of each mold, but if this mixture is not mixed completely and fully, then all of that would be for nothing. Once you are confident that your mixture is mixed to the best of your ability, it is time to start filling up your chocolate molds. When filling molds with mushroom powder already mixed in, you'll notice that it gets very, very thick. So instead of just pouring it in with the spoon, you're going to have to put excess on top and then kind of shake it into place. Tap it against the counter and add more than you need. Then use your knife to stroke all the way across, add more to the top, shake again, and then end with one more clean stroke to assure that all of the excess chocolate has been removed. And now it's time to refrigerate for 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, your mold should be solid all the way through. Now all that's left to do is flip over your mold, pop each one out, and then break off the excess chocolate on each individual mold. All right, well, that pretty much does it for me. Now we have 10 cute little unicorn chocolates that were made with consistency, care, and love. So if you have a chance, definitely go to my website so you can take a look at the extended version. There's a lot of information I wish I could have included in this video. You can find the link below. It's morethanspores.com. While you're down there, make sure you give me a thumbs up, hit that like button, and share with anyone that is passionate about mycology, because I love this. This is my favorite thing in the entire world. I have tons of knowledge. I have so many videos coming out. So if you're just getting into this, I'm going to be your guy for sure. So definitely subscribe to my channel. Definitely take a look at my website and all the resources I have there. And I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And as always, turn off, tune out, and drop in. Peace.